Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode where I'm excited to talk to you about AI and how you can use your own hardware to try and test new open source AI models easily using Podman Desktop. So, what is artificial intelligence or AI? Well, if you ask five different people, you'll probably get five different answers. But the denotative meaning of the term is that it's a branch of computer science that aims to build computer models capable of performing tasks that in the past would require some kind of human intervention. It is an interdisciplinary science that takes an epistemological approach to traditional computer science. And then AI systems can learn from experience to improve those results over time. So, why should you care about AI? What's in it for you? We always want to define the problem. Well, AI has the potential to bring out tremendous advances in efficiency and automation. I assume that's why NVIDIA's stock is trading at a huge multiple. It's one of the most valuable companies in the world now, if not the most valuable company in the world, depending on the week. And NVIDIA is driving a lot of these AI training models and whatnot because of the power of their graphical processing units, which ironically enough are great for AI, but we'll talk about that another time. Efficiency and automation is always key to building better systems, and AI is at the center of all of that. Especially when it comes down to data analysis and insights, AI models can comb through just tremendous amounts of data, looking for some sort of morsel of information that can be transformative, that can help, with medical systems, manufacturing, healthcare, all that kind of stuff, and the benefits are just tremendous. And then, AI can also be deeply personal too. If you have a smartphone today, you may notice that almost kind of scary that you get in your car and thinks, hey, it's 5 o'clock on Sunday. You normally head to here. It's going to take you 6 minutes using the normal route. And you think like, wow, that's crazy. Like, how was that done? Well, that's usually using some kind of form of AI and deep machine learning insights. But the question often arises, though, from people that said, well, don't I need the cloud for AI? Like, don't I have to only use like Chat GPT, which is probably one of the best known examples of AI today, or Google Gemini or Claude or one of those? And the answer is, heck no. These large language models are available for download to run on your local system so that you can try and test these out. And these models are constantly evolving, and it's almost like a race back and forth of who's got the best model. Competition is always a good thing, and there's lots of ways to try out these AI models locally, so that maybe you might want to build an AI system for your organization that reads internal documentation, that kind of thing. You can build like a chatbot that's powered by an AI service, all kinds of different applications, as I've said, and you can try out these models locally. And just remember too, nothing on the public cloud is really free. So even if you're in the free tier of ChatGPT or Google Gemini or Claude or one of those, they're reading your inputs and they're trying to train their own models to make them better. So, you essentially, when something is free, it's you're the product with a lot of these services, on the public cloud. So you kind of want to worry about privacy, and there, of course, are data risks. And again, maybe you just want to do some experimentation with different models, and you want an easy way to do that, and you don't necessarily have to use the local cloud. So the solution, with that in mind, the solution would be to think locally and to think open, as in open source. I'm a big open source advocate. If you've been following me for a while, everything I do is traditionally around some kind of open source software. And again, the cloud is great for getting started with AI, but it's very expensive in production. That was a quote from an executive. So if you're thinking about using AI at your own organization, maybe you want to try some models internally for a different service, like um, you know, uh, speech to text, that kind of thing, or building a chatbot or some kind of summarizer tool, you know, image recognition, all that kind of stuff. You know, you can run that stuff internally in-house at a substantial savings because, like the cloud, a lot of people are all about it until they get the bill and they realize, oh my gosh, my implementation wasn't optimized and it got very expensive very quickly. So, you know, you can try these AI models on a local system for experimentation before you go to any kind of production. And thankfully, open source graphical tools like Podman Desktop make it very easy to try these different AI models. So you might be wondering, like, well, how does AI work? I thought it required massive scale, and I have to have access to, you know, download all this data locally or something, you know, like the large cloud models. Um, no, you don't actually. AI is all about large language models or LLMs and RAGs or retrieval augmented generation. And an LLM is an artificial AI, or is an AI program that can recognize and generate text among other tasks. LLMs are trained on huge sets of data, you know, hence the term large, and they are built on machine learning. You know, specifically, you know, using a concept called neural networks that are basically called transformer models. And then there are RAGs, which is kind of an odd acronym that even the inventor of RAGs kind of regrets naming it, giving it this acronym. But there wasn't anything better at the time. So a RAG is a retrieval augmented generation well, that's what it stands for. It's an AI framework for retrieving facts from external knowledge base to ground these LLMs on the most accurate and up-to-date information and give users insights into the LLM's generative process. So, yeah. So in short, that's what a RAG is, and that's what an LLM is. But here's what you'll need to get started trying out these AI models today. Again, you only need Podman and Podman Desktop, which is great. Both are open source and will be forever. And a relatively fast system. I would recommend something that was probably maybe, you know, only 4 or 5 years old, but you need some kind of Intel Haswell processor, CPU, and or you know, Apple Silicon, that kind of thing. A lot of these AI models work on different architectures, so yeah, you know, if you use an ARM processor or Intel, that's fine. And 16 gigs of RAM is preferred, but it's not required. Some of these LLMs can get pretty memory intensive, as well as CPU intensive. So, you know, the more memory you have, the better. Podman Desktop can adjust, you know, the level of RAM available to these models. So the more the better. So with that, let's get started. Okay, so after downloading Podman Desktop, let's go ahead and launch and start the onboarding process. The nice wizard will take us through the whole process. Now, Red Hat does ask to collect some telemetry data, and it's completely fine to uncheck that. I consider Red Hat a trusted advisor, so I'm going to leave that checked because I want them to have information so they can improve this open source project. You can always change that later in settings and preferences, but I'm going to leave that for now. So let's go ahead and click on Start Onboarding. Now, Podman has complete compatibility with Docker, including you know, Docker Compose. So a binary check for that looks like it's already installed. And yep, we'll go to the next one. We can also have kubectl. Podman is a tool for deploying to Kubernetes and running containers. And kubectl is installed, so we're all good there. I'm going to leave the auto start enabled here because I use Podman quite a bit. And looking all good here. I could even skip the step, by the way, if I want to. Now, lastly, we're going to need a machine. And this is where you're going to adjust the CPU, memory, and disk settings based on your local hardware. So I have an Apple Silicon machine, and I am going to adjust the CPUs and memory according to my own configuration. I can always change this later. Um, yeah, you can also adjust some of the other settings to enable root container privileges. That's fine. I don't really run my containers as root, but all that looks good. So I'm going to click on next and let Podman create my machine. And that'll take about a minute or so. Okay, so now Podman is ready to go. And I'm at the dashboard here. I see that Podman is running and gives me a little tour here. You'll see down at the bottom that the Podman AI lab extension is one of the first extensions that you'll see. That is one we are going to demo today. So let's go ahead and install that extension. Just click on download. Installs relatively quickly. There are some other extensions as well, such as the Red Hat Extension Pack that provides access to things like Red Hat's Developer Sandbox, which I've demoed in previous videos. But we're going to focus on the AI Lab today. And so let's click on that on the left-hand pane here, and we're presented with the AI Lab extension. Kind of talks about the recipes catalog, all the different curated list of open source AI models and the LLMs that you can download here. So here's just kind of a nice walkthrough of everything that this extension is going to do. There's recipes, AI models, the model serving, the playgrounds. There's great detail here. And it also tells you how you can provide feedback on some of these models. So, and of course, it's open source, so there is a link to the GitHub repository with the AI Lab extension here. So let's click on the recipes catalog here, because this is what we're going to demo today. So we've got some natural language processing, computer vision, and audio options here. These all have default curated recommended LLMs. But you can swap those LLMs out, and I'll show you how to do that. But so you got some great options here. Now, if we click on the models section here and then click on the catalog, you'll see all of these different curated models that are available. Most of these are available. I think all of them actually are available on Hugging Face, which is like a catalog of a lot of these LLMs. So you can go and check these out. You can download these. It kind of tells you the CPU and memory requirements for these. Mistral 7B is a very, very popular model. If you click on this, it'll say, hey, we're going to take you to the Hugging Face website /Mistral. So you can go kind of check that out. And you can even see, within the website how popular some of these models are. How many downloads do they have? How many people love these models? And just kind of get an idea of the popularity and which models are most effective. When were they last updated? That kind of thing. So this is a constantly evolving space, and you're going to want to check this out to do what's best for you. All right, so a great use of AI is for writing automation code here, and I'm going to try the code generation LLM. One of the great things here about Podman, as I've mentioned, is that they have some default recommendations for some of these models here. In this case, it's the Bloke, which is a very popular model here, in particular, the Mistral 7B code LLM. So we're going to go with the defaults here. Let's click Start AI App, and it's going to download the LLM to my local machine here, and we're going to let that download. That'll take a while, and I'll be right back. Okay, it took a couple of minutes to download the model, but it did, and I am ready to go. All systems check. I can even open up the code in VS Code and make changes as I see fit, like maybe adding a rag for context. And there is a web front end provided And I will click on that. I can restart the model if needed. So let's go use LLM to write some automation code. All right, so in the code generation app, in my browser, I'm going to ask the LLM to write me an Ansible playbook to deploy Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9 on Microsoft Azure in a specific region with specific settings. So it's going to think about it, and here we go. Okay, so let's draw some conclusions here. Number one, be careful with anything you generate through one of these LLMs. You got to test it thoroughly. It's not going to be perfect, but remember, the best is the enemy of the better. At the very least, some of these free LLMs that you can run in Podman Desktop will give you a great head start on whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's using code generation or speech to text. You're getting something for free here, so just remember that. And um, you know, if there's something that's not working, provide feedback. These LLMs are community efforts that are evolving constantly. This is a new and exciting field, and somebody can't fix something unless they know about it. So, make a contribution, provide feedback. That's the only way to get better. All right, thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. See you in the next one.